Welcome everybody hopping on. We'll start in a few seconds here. All right, while we are waiting for everyone to hop on, just welcome to WIHA Office Hours, our July 25th, 2024 edition. I'm happy to be with you on this hopefully sunny day for everyone. Sunny here in Stevens Point, the central part of the state. So we are going to talk about lots of fun things this morning. We have got lots of updates for you. This meeting is being recorded, so you can feel free to share with other local partners in your area for future reference as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Jill Rankin, Executive Director of Wisconsin Institute for Healthy Aging. We've got our staff joining us as well, and you'll hear from them today. And I think we're going to go ahead and get started with a fun little icebreaker. So we can go to the next slide, Suzanne, and then we've got, because it's summertime, why not talk about ice cream? We were just talking about farmers market stuff, which is also really great too. But let's go ahead and if you can just put your name and what county you are in or tribe you're from and your favorite ice cream flavor. And if you have multiple favorite ice cream flavors, then pick the one that you like to eat the most in the summertime. That's how I'm qualifying mine today. So let's see what we got. Ooh, butter pecan, Angie's got, and cookie dough, mint Oreo. Yep. Hazelnut gelato. That's a good one. I haven't had that one before. Cookie dough, Rocky Road. Awesome. I have to say my summertime favorite is strawberry, but only in the summertime. What else do we have? Turtle. Yep. Anything with chocolate. Coconut Joy. That sounds wonderful too. Coffee, vanilla, peanut butter chocolate, lots of chocolate. Lactose. Yeah. So something that's doesn't have dairy in it, which I think there are a few varieties these days. So that's good. Cookie dough, coffee, lots of coffee, peanut butter, and gelato. I wonder if I don't think if gelato has dairy in it or not. It might. Great. Well,
I'm gonna chime in. Somebody had rhubarb crumble.
Sounds wonderful.
Never heard of that.
That was me.
Nice.
My local ice cream shop has it just like 1 month in the summer, and it has like rhubarb in it and then pieces of pie crust in vanilla ice cream, and it is so good. I like dream about it.
That's true summertime ice cream flavor for sure. That's great. Anything mint, it looks like. We got lots of chocolate, lots of mint, peanut butter, coffee, and then yeah, a couple little handful of some fruity ones. So great variety. Now we're all gonna want ice cream today, which is fun. It's a good thing to do in the summertime. All right. Well, thank you everyone. It's great to have you with us. We are going to talk about a few things this morning. Right off the bat, we're going to hand it to Suzanne, and she's going to talk a little bit about coalition updates. So we have, as you know, WIHA is the coordinator of the Falls Free Wisconsin Coalition, as well as the Wisconsin Coalition for Social Connection, along with our amazing partners who are, some of you are on with us today. So we'll be going through some coalition updates because there's a lot going on in the fall with both falls prevention as well as social connection. And then we'll go to talk a little bit about the new WIHA services that we've had this year that you've heard a little bit about. We're going to talk a little bit more about the WIHA-led workshops and the Age Well series and how you can get involved in your local communities. And then we're going to do a little, because we haven't done it in a long time, just go through some program health outcomes because we haven't really, it's always good, I think, to realize all the impact that you all are having on your communities. So we're just going to do a quick review of the health outcomes that are associated with the programs that you're doing. And then we're going to talk a little bit about program adaptations and some upcoming training. So that's our packed full agenda for today. So we will go ahead and get started. So Suzanne, I'll hand it back over to you.
Awesome, thanks, Jill. So I'm just going to start by talking a little bit about what the Falls Free Wisconsin Coalition has been up to. We've been very busy, so I wanted to just give some updates. I have on the screen here, you can see just some of the highlights that we have been doing. So the Falls Free Wisconsin Steering Committee, which meets every other month, has been discussing things like the Healthy Aging Grants legislation. So we attended the Aging Advocacy Day in May. Jill had kind of headed that up with the Healthy Aging Grants and had around 200 people that advocated for certain topics related to healthy aging, and falls prevention being one of those focus areas. So currently working on following up with the legislators that were interested in hearing a little bit more about falls prevention to kind of just continue that conversation and provide some more education and advocacy. And then we'll be discussing getting the Healthy Aging Grants legislation into the governor's budget in the 2025 to 2027 budget cycle. And then we'll reintroduce the two bills that we had last year, which we talked a lot about last year in early 2025. So still doing some of that legislation work to hopefully get some state support for falls prevention. We're currently discussing healthcare and falls prevention as well, kind of just learning what's all out there, what healthcare systems are doing to prevent falls in their older adult patients, what systems and policies they have in place, and hoping to hold a webinar sometime this fall about that for our healthcare partners. Currently, I send out newsletters to the Falls Free Wisconsin Coalition members, which we have around 80 or so members in our coalition, typically 1 to 3 times a month, just kind of depending on what's going on. And then we also have our advisory committee that's a part of the coalition. So we meet with our advisory committee quarterly and just discuss what the coalition is up to and how we can reach some more underserved populations. Our best practices work group has been working on some updates to our Falls Free Wisconsin website, the best practices page, and I'll share that in a little bit. And then we have also been working on a public safety project. We've been having these conversations for a while, how to kind of embed public safety a little bit more into the coalition. And WIHA recently was the recipient of the National Council on Aging's Innovation and Falls Prevention Grant with a focus on EMS. So kind of the perfect opportunity, the perfect storm to embed public safety a little bit more into the coalition. And our goal with that grant is to develop a toolkit that provides opportunities for emergency medical services and then community-based organizations to collaborate for preventing falls in local communities. So you've probably seen some information about this so far. We have listening sessions that are scheduled coming up. The first one is next week already. And those really are just for our EMS partners, just to kind of learn about what is happening throughout the state, what they're seeing in their local communities. So if you haven't seen this, if you haven't had a chance to share, please share this flyer with your EMS partners and encourage them to attend one of these listening sessions. We have a couple virtual, we have a couple in person, and we're kind of hoping to get some diverse representation throughout the state. So once we kind of hold these listening sessions, we'll get together with a few of our stakeholders and then working on developing a toolkit and kind of piloting some of the collaborations and different things that could happen in local communities to help prevent falls. And then our data work group has been working on just really collecting data. Our data work group is newer to the coalition. It just started at the end of last year. So first we were just kind of looking at what data do we want to know, what data is out there related to falls that we can collect. And then the answer is really just, or the question has really come up quite a bit. Why does Wisconsin have such a high rate of falls and fall deaths in the state? And it's always, is it the weather? Is it the snow and ice? Is it due to Wisconsin's alcohol culture? And we've gotten that question quite a bit. So we decided to put together this report. You'll see just a brief snippet of that on the screen. And we're hoping that this report will be released this fall. So working with the Wisconsin Department of Health Services, getting some data around alcohol-related older adult falls, and then also working with the Wisconsin Alcohol Policy Project. So they are great in providing information on alcohol education. So they've been a great partner too.
Hey,
So
Suzanne,
yeah.
Real quick, there's a question in the chat. Lisa was wondering where she can get the flyer to share with the local EMS on the listening sessions.
Yeah, Amy is going to drop some links in the chat when I'm done talking. So all of the links that I mention and share, you will have in the chat in just a little bit. And they're all on the Falls Free Wisconsin website too, or you can always email me too if you are looking for something specific. We'll drop those links in the chat in a little bit. And then our public awareness work group has been pretty busy this year. We have done a number of consumer webinars, or we're planning for a number of consumer webinars. This is something new that we're doing this year. We haven't done these in the past, but with WIHA's new Age Well series, it was kind of just a good fit to collaborate across the coalition and with WIHA to host some webinars for older adults on falls prevention activities. So we did our first one in May with our National Physical Fitness and Sports Month initiative and education on. So we had a webinar. I think we had around 30 older adults attend that one. Even more have viewed the recording. We had some great speakers on that one. And then we're planning for another one. And again, you'll have this link in the chat in a little bit. I just put out the information on this one early this week. I just finalized the speaker. So more to come on this one. But our next webinar for older adults will be in September for Falls Prevention Awareness Month on September 5th. And we have an occupational therapist that's going to talk about home safety. Since we know most falls do happen at home, it's a really important topic to talk about. And then we'll talk about our home safety challenge as well in this webinar. We have also been working on a little bit of partnership development. So Courtney at WIHA has been reaching out to some local organizations, things like YMCAs, pharmacies, to really get more materials into the hands of older adults for Falls Free Wisconsin. So can they share a consumer postcard and bags with the pharmacy, or can they share some of our social media posts? So we've been working on that a little bit as well. We do have our Facebook page, which we've been sharing information on. We've been doing some paid media as well as part of the federal earmark that we've received. There's some billboards up throughout the state. Hopefully you've seen one of those. Maybe if you have a picture, we'd love to see that. They're kind of in those higher traffic areas near Green Bay and Eau Claire and Toma area, and then one near the Milwaukee area or Madison area as well. And then we have one more paid ad going out sometime probably this month or early next month. So again, we have a 30 and 15-second video and then some audio recording as well that'll go out on just different channels like YouTube and Spotify and on Facebook. So look for that coming out soon. And then the Awareness Root Group has also been doing a couple of media campaigns, just some earned media. So in winter, early this year, we did a campaign around winter safety and falls prevention. We were over in La Crosse with the partners there, talking on their media station just to raise more awareness. In May, we did a campaign around National Physical Fitness and Sports Month. And we partnered with Rock County to provide some education at their pickleball event. And then our next campaign, which I'll talk about in a little bit too when I share the website, is coming out again, kind of in collaboration with September for Falls Prevention Awareness Month, but are on the topic of hunting and fall safety. There is some data that shows that a lot of people do fall during hunting or using tree stands, and wanted to just kind of spin on a different topic and reach more of a broader population for falls prevention education. So we have resources for that. And then we've also been working a lot on preparing for Falls Prevention Awareness Month. So many of you probably know that we have Falls Prevention Awareness Month coming up in September. Somehow it's already almost a month away. So we have a webinar on August 5th. I think that's just next week, maybe 2 weeks from now, for our partners for preparing for Falls Prevention Awareness Month. So I'll be going through the resources that we have in more detail then. And then we have a few people presenting on what their plans are for Falls Prevention Awareness Month activities. So again, the link to that will be dropped in the chat in a little bit. But I do want to now just go to the Falls Free Wisconsin website and just share some of the things that I've been talking about. So I'm going to pull up my computer. And this is what I was talking about when I was talking about the best practices work group. We made some changes to this page here on the Falls Free Wisconsin website. Go under for professionals, best practices. We have this great table here that kind of displays different evidence-based falls prevention programs, physical activity programs, and other initiatives and projects that could be implemented in local communities. We made a couple of changes to this. We broke out frequency and duration. Previously, this was program design, just so it's a little bit easier to see how long this program runs and for how many hours and how many sessions. And then this is new here, this currently available in Wisconsin. So if this is checked, you're looking through this program is currently being offered and is available in Wisconsin. So many of the programs listed here and initiatives here are available in Wisconsin, but there are some that aren't. So you can kind of look through here, and if you're not sure where to start, we have this new decision tree. So just kind of give some examples of, hey, what's going on? Maybe you want to raise awareness, different possible solutions. You could hold a awareness event, do activities during Falls Prevention Awareness Week, do a Rug Screen Mugs initiative, and then kind of where to start here. And we're always available too for technical assistance. If you're looking for people to contact that have done these things before, you can always reach out and we can connect you with some different people in local communities that have done a successful Falls Prevention Awareness Month or a successful Mugs for Drugs initiative, and you can get some more information. So that is all new to the best practices page. And then I'm working on adding some more local examples here too. If you have any local examples, you've done something successfully for falls prevention in your community, definitely reach out and share those. You can submit your program or project to be featured here too as well. Then I wanted to just go through quickly the promotional resources that we have. So this webpage here is updated quite frequently. We add different campaigns as we have them. We had the winter safety campaign on here. We had the physical activity campaign on here. And now highlighted here at the top, we have our Falls Prevention Awareness Month resources. So we have letter to the editor, newsletter article. We have social media posts. Our theme for Falls Prevention Awareness Month is Age with Confidence, Prevent Falls. You'll see that kind of portrayed throughout the social media graphics. And then that theme is kind of embedded throughout those press releases and newsletter articles and things as well. And then also new this year for Falls Prevention Awareness Month, we have this event calendar. So we're asking if you are doing a Falls Prevention Awareness event or doing something in September for Falls Prevention Awareness Month, that you submit your event here. You can just fill out a quick form that asks what you're doing and different things like that. And then those will just be displayed here on this event calendar on our Falls Free Wisconsin website. So this is available not only for professionals working in falls prevention, but also available for the general public to see. So I'll just click on one here. You can kind of see what it looks like, but just has a description of the event, where it is, who's organizing it, date and time, and all of that. So as you're planning for different things in September, definitely fill out that form and add those to our website. And I go back here. And then this is the campaign I was talking about, our next quarterly media campaign for hunting and safety in the fall using tree stands. We've collaborated with the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources for this campaign to provide some education, and it's been a little slow to load. But you'll see we have similar resources, newsletter article, press release, social media graphics, and along with that suggested text that you can just schedule on your Facebook page or share from our Facebook page. So we have that as well. And these are some of our year-round resources. So we have consumer handouts. We have a new crossword puzzle that was released this summer. We have social media graphics that are available at any time. My computer will probably be too slow to load those, but we have newsletter articles, press releases, talking points if you're talking on your local radio station and you want some information to highlight. We have some video ads. These are the 2 paid ads that went out. And when we do that third campaign, we'll add that third video here. I'm also working on adding some audio PSAs to this, hopefully by next week or the week after. And then there's some toolkits by other partners as well if you're looking for some more information. So those are all of the great things that we have happening for Falls Prevention Awareness Month and just kind of year-round Falls Free Wisconsin awareness and education around falls prevention. Also, that's going to be added to the Falls Free Wisconsin promotional resources page that I just shared, as we are doing a placemat contest. So the deadline to submit your placemat is actually tomorrow. So if you haven't seen that and you're interested in kind of scrambling and putting together a design, if you're really good at doing things like that, happy to get some more submissions for our placemat contest. And then once we have those placemats all received, we'll add those to our website too. So you can use those at meal sites, share with your local restaurants or diners, whatever it might be. So that's what we have going on for Falls Free Wisconsin in a nutshell. And then we also have our Wisconsin Coalition for Social Connection. So that coalition has also been very busy and active. So we have our coalition, which meets monthly, kind of our steering and leadership for the whole coalition. That coalition has been working a lot on partnership development. There's a lot of things that are happening related to social connection activities for older adults and people with disabilities, not only at the local and state level, but also nationally. So we've been connecting with a lot of our national partners on this work. We hold bi-monthly network meetings. Our next meeting is August 20th at 2 p.m. where you can just kind of get together with people that are working on this and local initiatives and network. And we do some presentations on projects that are happening throughout the state. And then again, for this one, we do newsletters around 1 to 3 times a month. And we'll drop the link in the chat. If you're interested in joining, you'll be added to that newsletter contact list just with there's grant opportunities or just to share what people are doing locally in there too. And then our measurement ad hoc committee, that is new this year. We are working on identifying and developing measurement tools for local interventions. So, hey, you have this program. Just for example, there's some men's sheds programs that are happening throughout the state. How can we identify that is making an impact and reducing social isolation and loneliness? So we've been working on kind of identifying and developing measurement tools for those local initiatives. And then also working on evaluating the effectiveness of the statewide coalition and collecting statewide data related to a social connection for older adults and people with disabilities. And then we have a policy champions committee. This is kind of really just in development right now. We're working on finalizing the details and we'll hopefully have some information on that by the end of next month. But if you're interested in any policy or advocacy work related to social connection, definitely reach out and let me know, and we'll have more to come on that in the next month or so. And then we have our awareness ad hoc committee as well. And again, we have a Facebook for our Wisconsin Coalition for Social Connection. That link is there. And that awareness ad hoc committee is really working on planning for Social Isolation and Loneliness Awareness Week. So this is held every November. I think this will be the 4th year, which is pretty awesome. And we're doing something a little bit different this year. We are doing an Awareness Week Summit. It'll be a virtual. We're doing lunch and learn webinars November 11th to November 15th. So for now, save the date on your calendar. Those will be held 12 to 1:30 each day. And then we will be having a number of different presentations and panels during those webinars. We have our topics picked out. We're looking for speakers now. We'll be talking about health equity, intergenerational programs, coalition building, technology, and accessible outdoor recreation. So really excited to just keep planning for that and get some speakers, and we'll have a lot of great presentations for that as well. And then I wanted to share too this connectwi.org. So this website is new. This is, I think it was just launched in May. So pretty brand new. If you haven't seen this, take some time to look around. It's just connectwi.org. So it has resources and information for older adults and people with disabilities, their family members, caregivers, but then also information for professionals. It's set up pretty similar to the Falls Through Wisconsin website, if you're familiar with that one, but just some definitions about what social isolation and loneliness is. We have a self-evaluation and we have resources. So this connect with others drop down here. This is really for older adults and people with disabilities, and some different things that people can do to stay connected. There's some different links here that you can see, just some different tips. And then we have resources here for professionals as well. So we do have some data here. We have awareness resources, connection resources, our newsletter, and our coalition resources. So I'm just going to click on one of these. You can see here, this is where you'll find information about our awareness week. So more to come on this. That save the date is here so far, but we'll be developing similarly to the Falls Prevention Awareness Month. So we'll have social media posts, newsletter articles, things like that. We have gotten a governor's proclamation in the past, hoping to do that again for Social Isolation and Loneliness Awareness Week and for Falls Prevention Awareness Month. So we'll have all of that information right here. But you can see here, there's some press releases and letters to the editor already. There's different toolkits, and there's social media graphics here too. So if you're looking for something to put on your Facebook page, you don't have to recreate the wheel. You can just kind of download our images and share those too, or share them from our Facebook page too. And then if you're interested in getting involved in this coalition, we have this join button here. And then again, that'll be dropped in the chat. You can sign up for our newsletter, or you can join the coalition either as an individual or an organization. So always looking for more people to get involved in the coalitions. This is Wisconsin Coalition for Social Connection, and with the Falls Prevention Awareness, Falls Through Wisconsin Coalition too. So happy to have more people signed on to those coalitions. And I think that's it. If there's any questions, happy to answer those now. I don't know, Jill and Amy, if you see any questions in the chat, but always reach out to if you have any questions about either of the coalitions.
Yeah, no more questions. Lots of really awesome resources. It's pretty amazing what these coalitions, what you guys have all put together for just increasing awareness overall. We've got lots of work to do this. We're doing great work with the programming, and also it's really awesome to see that we have expanded doing this general health education type awareness work. So thank you, Suzanne, for sharing all of that. But we'll leave some space here if anybody has any questions or comments for either one of the coalitions and the resources that are available. Let's see.
Awesome.
Looks like we've got a question. Out of all the marketing outreach pieces, which one is the most successful or ordered the most?
Oh, that's a great question. So we don't necessarily have them ordered. It's just something that you can download. And I don't know if we can see how many downloads we have. We probably can. I'd say people probably use most the social media posts. I see a lot of people on their Facebook page posting those. And then I think the newsletter articles are pretty popular too. We try to have the newsletter articles be available if we're doing a campaign at least a month and a half ahead of the campaign, knowing that some organizations have deadlines for their newsletters. But I'd say probably those are what I've heard are the most popular. But I definitely encourage the use of those video PSAs too. And then once I put the audio PSAs, I think those will be great to use in local communities too. That's a good question.
Yeah, and thank you in advance, and thank you for all of you who have shared these resources. And we just encourage you to share more going forward. The more we can get the word out, the more that we can make an impact as far as our health education goes throughout the state. So please share, please use.
Definitely. We have some great partners in both these coalitions. So again, like Jill said, just thanks to everyone that is involved in this work. And if you're looking to get more involved, definitely feel free to join either of the coalitions.
Yeah, there's plenty to do.
All right. Well, kind of switching gears a little bit, we are going to talk about virtual workshops, and we have Kim Lombard with Freightart, who's going to talk about how they have successfully done some of their virtual stepping on workshops. So Kim, you can go ahead and take it away.
All right, thanks, Suzanne. So I'm Kim Lombard. I'm the Injury Prevention Coordinator with Freightart Hospital. We are an adult level 1 trauma center located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we are a program provider for Stepping On. We offer about 4 to 5 workshops annually. We have a team of facilitators, so we have a big program that I'm coordinating here. We do, ever since COVID, we are very thankful to be able to hold programs virtually. So that really started when COVID hit. We got moving pretty quickly as soon as we got the okay from WIHA to schedule some virtual courses. And I'm very thankful that we, had that kind of opening during that time when our world was very chaotic and people were fearful of COVID transmission. And since then, we've just continued offering virtual courses because we definitely saw the value. Not every participant, really wants to be in person. I would say that virtual offerings are nice to have. And then letting the participant decide like what works best for me. Would I prefer a virtual or, would I really prefer in person? Everybody has kind of their preferences, which is perfect. So when we do our virtual workshop, Stepping On does require, some technology components so that we are ensuring that everybody's kind of on the same page. We're working through any technology issues in advance. So they do offer some kind of I would say support. There's some resources that WIHA has developed to assist with the different virtual platforms, which can be very helpful. There is that required component though, where we do technology checks in advance of the program. So that is something that's done. It can be a facilitator that does that role. It can be your office assistant. It can be, an IT person if you have those resources at your site. It doesn't necessarily have to be the facilitator to do the pre-tech check, which can be helpful. Generally, I do those. I'm not the most technologically inclined person, so we're kind of working it out as we go. It takes about 30 minutes. We do it over whatever platform we're using, and allows us an opportunity to work out any issues in advance. It also allows us an opportunity to check the home, look at their space, where are they going to be doing this program, talk about safety, make sure that we're all good in that sense. So that tech check is really important, and it is very helpful. There is also an additional session 0 that's required for virtual sessions. That's also helpful. That's our first session with the group and the 2 facilitators. And that's an opportunity to just get to know the virtual platform. I have found, so with Freighter, our platform is WebEx, but I have found with this population, they really prefer Zoom. Zoom just seems to be easy to log on. There's really, we tend to have less issues when we use the Zoom platform. So whichever facilitators are coordinating that, they usually we kind of make that choice together. And then, it's kind of been Zoom. So that seems to work well for the older adult participant. But session 0 gets you used to, using that platform or using the chat feature. We're coming off mic, talking to one another. So we're really kind of going over all the things with that platform so that they can have a little bit of information about, how does this work if they're not familiar with it. Some older adult populations are great on Zoom. Like they've been doing Zoom meetings or talking to their family members so that they're using it. Some haven't used it at all. So you do run into some technology issues. We're lucky at Freighter where we do have some resources. I have reached out to our IT support. Sometimes they come to session 0 if we can get them there, which is very, very helpful because if there are any issues at that point, they kind of just handle it on the back end. So there's 3 of us, 2 facilitators and the IT person kind of working together to troubleshoot. So that's really, really helpful if you have those resources. Things that we've heard back from participants is they really appreciate the virtual course. It really is very convenient. We now are at the point where we're just holding virtual over the winter. So most of our classes or workshops are in person. We are committed to doing at least 1 virtual workshop over that winter months. So it does give them something to do. It's another route for fall prevention at a time of year where we might be at risk for falls, or we're at risk all year round, but people are, in their homes, kind of laying low. So it really allows an out for them. Also, as you know, by implementing a lot of these programs, there is that social connection with our evidence-based programs. So again, it's a time where people might be a little more isolated in the winter. So it really allows for that social connectivity aspect. Because many participants, when we talk to people that want this virtual class, lots of them are still fearful of COVID. They're very worried. They're still concerned with COVID transmission, and some of them are socially isolated. So it really, I think it very, very much helps. It also eliminates transportation barriers. We can reach people far and wide. We serve a big Freighter Hospital. Obviously, we serve a big area. So we can reach beyond the city of Milwaukee to reach some of our regional clinics and work with our, get our patients involved in that aspect. So there's no kind of like geographic like limit. So that's nice for us. That's one of our goals for this program, is to really expand. And then instructors that teach it like it. They like it because it's convenient. They like it because they can do it from their home. No travel time. So it's convenient for them. And we tend to use resources in our home. So when you think about some of the components of stepping on, like demonstrating getting up and down from a chair, we obviously use the equipment in our home. I've moved my laptop to my stair view before when I lived in a home with stairs. We could demonstrate up with, getting the correct way to go up and down the stairs. We've also utilized things like Bluetooth headsets. So when we're stepping away, demonstrating exercises, they can still hear us, we can still hear them. So overall, I would say it's been a great experience. We will continue to do virtual workshops just because the need is there, the want is there, and it's valuable. So that's all I have to share. I don't know if we have any questions. You're always welcome to reach out to me. I can put my information in, I'll put my email in the chat.
Thank you so much, Kim. It looks like Deb was just saying thank you for sharing, and also was wondering if anybody else is planning a virtual stepping on workshop this fall. So if you are, if you want to go ahead and type in the chat, that would be great. But it looks like Pam does have a question. What is your referral process for participants?
Referral process, meaning like providers. I don't know if that's what you're asking, but we rely heavily on word of mouth. When we work with our providers, we want people, we're driving them to the webs to us to sign up. So if they can get our right now we have the flyer in our after visit summary. So if a patient comes into the ED for a fall, there's kind of like a smart text that goes out, and that information can be added to like the after visit summary for that patient, so they can get connected that way. But really, people who are signing up for our programs, really it's, you know, generally word of mouth, and PT, physical therapy has probably been our largest advocate. So generally I'm emailing when we hold new courses, I'm emailing the group, asking them to promote it, but really looking for more ways where I don't have to always do that. So that's kind of where we're trying to think of new ways, like the after visit summary and the discharge and things like that, so that people can get the word out. I don't know if I answered that correctly, Pamela.
I think so. I know UW-Madison or UW Health, sorry. UW Health is working on some referral systems for fall prevention and stepping on in particular as well. So definitely we'll keep the conversation going. So thanks, Kim, for sharing that.
Yeah, no
I'll
problem.
just put in a plug for peer facilitators. Kim works with a really active peer facilitator, and I ran the data last year in 2023. A third of stepping on workshops were held with a peer facilitator, and those peer facilitators are out in the community. They're seeing physical therapists, they're seeing providers, they're telling people about it, they're telling their friends about it. So just another great avenue to get some more word of mouth out about the programs too.
Yeah, and they might be comfortable doing virtual workshops too. We have a great peer who's comfortable in all settings. She's great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim. All right. So with that, I just wanted to kind of turn us into on that topic of virtual workshops, just to remind everyone that we do have WIHA-led workshops available. So I know that we have had a couple situations where some of our partners have utilized this service, but it's new this year. So if you are looking to do a virtual workshop and you don't have facilitators for that specific program, for a WIHA program, then we are available for a fee to be able to implement those virtually. I know we did a Mind Over Matter workshop with the ADRC of La Crosse County, which went really, really well. They weren't able to join us today to talk about it, but very positive experience that we had with that. We're working with some of our other partners to potentially schedule a Healthy Living with Diabetes workshop this fall, as well as a Stepping On virtual session. So the other thing just to mention with those WIHA-led workshops, if you maybe have one facilitator, or if somebody is in danger of losing their certification because they need to get a workshop in and maybe you only have one instead of two, then we can always negotiate and work on having one person from WIHA instead of both from WIHA doing those workshops. So that's definitely an option. So we just want to make sure that we're here to support the great work that you're doing. And we also don't like to see, just like you don't like to see that when program facilitators have to lose their certification because of not being able to do a workshop. So we want to do what we can to help you with that. And also, we also know that there are lots of challenges whether it's trying to, for those of you who are in aging offices where you're trying to spend your 3D funds, or it's just the challenge of getting facilitators. I know we're all kind of working back up to those 2019 numbers of having, multiple partners and facilitators in our communities. So we know that if we can help supplement that, then we're happy to do that. So please let us know if you are interested in any of the WIHA programs. If you're interested in us do those programs for you, we can send you the document that outlines all the different programs available and the fees associated with each one of those. We also know that because fall prevention is a huge priority for us in September, we wanted to put out some dates that we are available for for a virtual Stepping On WIHA-led workshop. So the dates are on your screen, because sometimes it's hard just to find dates. So we already have done that pre-work for you. So if you're interested in hosting, inviting your community members and hosting one of these workshops, and these are some available options for you. Even the one in January, just like Kim was saying, it's kind of nice to have something set for the winter.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna go ahead and mute. Here we go. Okay. To have those set and already ready to go. So for the WIHA-led workshops, then you would do all of the marketing and the recruitment for those workshops, and we would just be the facilitators. So please be in contact with us. Let us know if you're interested. And if there's multiple organizations that want to do this, you can split the cost with another organization. It doesn't have to be all on you. So we have lots of different options for you. Okay, what is the cost to purchase a virtual spot? So we actually don't have it set up that way for a virtual spot. We have them set up where you purchase a workshop. So if you're an organization and you want to offer, let's say, Stepping On virtually to your community, then you would purchase that from us, from WIHA, and then you would fill the whole class. So you would be unlimited spot. I shouldn't say unlimited spots, whatever the number is for that workshop. So with Stepping On, making sure we're not going over 15 or whatever, but you want to make sure that then you fill the workshops for that whole fee. Unless you're working with another organization, then we can certainly split that up, and you can have half and half. So that's how we have it set up now. But if it's more helpful to have spots, then that's something we can certainly talk about. So we would love to hear your feedback on that. Hopefully that answers your question, Pam. Okay. There aren't any more questions on the WIHA-led workshops, and we'll go to our next topic and our next slide, which is our Age Well series. So you heard Suzanne talk about the presentations that we did in relation to fall prevention. We had one, I think it was May that we did that, as well as one coming up in September. So the Age Well series is brand new also this year. And the goal really is to, again, provide some smaller health education opportunities that aren't a full workshop to our communities. With the ultimate goal, obviously the gold standard is we want them to engage in the evidence-based programs, but we also realize that we want to meet people where they're at. And we want to be able to provide health education, at least little teasers to people and some information beyond just what we do online and virtually. So some of these Age Well presentations are on different health topics. We do some of them virtually, and actually the virtual ones are very well attended. We usually have anywhere up from like 80 to 100 people register for these Age Well series. So we had our first one was on the 7 dimensions of wellness. We have had, I'm trying to think of our other one. It was on brain. We had one on brain health. And then of course we have some in-person ones available as well. So we're trying to combine both the virtual and in-person. So we had an in-person one up in the northern part of the state, which was an incontinence one. We have one coming up in August, which will be down in the Wauwatosa area that Courtney will be doing. And that's going to be, the topic is going to be making a will. So a lot of these will be kind of pop-up things as well. And we are just doing them right now. We're just starting in 2024, But what we want to invite you all to do is if you would like to host your own Age Well series, that is something that we would love to discuss with you. So if you have a location and can help us promote these, we are happy to come to your community and do an Age Well series topic in your community. So if you have a senior center or another community center that you'd like to just do these pop-up Age Well series presentations, we have a kind of a topic, a menu list of things that we have already packaged and ready to go. Or if you have a local expert that you want to highlight, we are certainly welcome to suggestions and partnering with local partners as well. So the possibilities are kind of endless, but we're really excited about these because they really do prompt people. And I don't know, Amy, if you want to, putting you on the spot, but if you want to give the example of the incontinence program, the Age Well series that happened and how that filled a mom workshop actually because of that.
Yeah, I'll take just a couple seconds, Jill. Thanks for this. So we were fortunate enough, we wanted to do an Age Well incontinence series up in northern Wisconsin. So I'm up in the Minocqua area. And so we actually partnered with the ADRC of Vilas County and Pam Schneider. And she's on the call as well. And I just, called her up and I said, can we do something? Because I know that you're going to be doing a Mind Over Matter workshop in the summer, and we'd love to do a little bit of promotion. And from that workshop, that Age Well series, we were able to get, I think, 4 people right on the spot that day that registered for the Mind Over Matter workshop, and had a lot of great conversation in a smaller setting with some ladies in the community. And I think it was very, very helpful. So appreciate Pam and the ADRC of Vilas County for partnering with us. And then we did have a pelvic floor physical therapist from Aspirus who was our speaker. And she did an amazing job as well.
Thank you. Yeah, great to hear. Okay, so I will, Pam, I'll go ahead and send you, I can send you the menu also, since you were inquiring about the virtual programs and the WIHA offerings, so we'll send that to you. All right, so we can go on to the next topic on the agenda. We have kind of shifting, but going back to that big picture, evidence-based program health outcomes. So I know very many of you have seen this. You probably have lots of variety of this and that you've seen, but we do know that we are all making an incredible difference in our community by doing health education programming. So we know that these are the social determinants of health factors. We know that if you can see on your screen, 30% of health behaviors 30% of our health is determined by our own individual health behaviors. 20% in the clinic and access in clinical care is very important when we're managing our health. But we all know that there's a lot of things that we all are doing in our daily lives that really impact that. And all the programs that you do impact that 30%. And if also, I would say even extended into that 40% where we have social and economic factors as well. I know a lot of you are working on all those things too. So there's lots of things that we are doing in our communities that are making incredible health impacts. So keep doing the great work that you are. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of go through each one of the programs and just a brief overview. I know this might be a reminder for some of you, but I like looking at these sometimes because they're really nice to say, oh yeah, like this is the health impact that I'm happening. We know because these programs are researched and proven that they're having these health impacts on our communities. And this is the base level health impact. You also have like lots of other things that are happening. We know social connection is increased because of these programs. We're currently working on measuring those kinds of things, which isn't on your screen. So just know that there's above and beyond what is on our screen here that we're doing to positively affect people's lives. But stepping on, we know that there's a 31% reduction in fall risk. We know that we've had all the way up to 50% reduction in fall risk in Wisconsin, depending on different studies that have been done. And we know that there's a 70% reduction in emergency department visits due to a fall in Wisconsin. So we know that these are semi-old data that we're working on trying to make sure that we're updating, but at least at a bare minimum, at least $3,000 per person just in one ED visit averted after taking Stepping On. So lots of really great things happening there. Next slide. So I'm going to kind of go through these ones a little bit faster, but we know for living well with chronic conditions, as well as healthy living with diabetes and healthy living with chronic pain, they're kind of all the same when it comes to the evidence base around them. But I'm just going to kind of go through these a little bit. We know that these programs, they're on the side of the spectrum of more difficult to implement programs or more difficult to recruit for, but we know that these programs have been around for a long time. Even in Wisconsin, we've been doing them for over 15 years. So they're still going strong. So that says that there is still a need for them, and we know that they have these positive health outcomes. So we know that we've got reductions in emergency department visit, reductions in hospitalizations, and we have at least, this is another again old data that we're working on updating, but at least $700 per participant in one hospital visit health savings just from taking the Living Well program. And the next slide, she'll go into the healthy living with diabetes ones, which has very similar results. And I'm just kind of overviewing the health, the hard data here. But we know that these programs, as like I said, have other benefits to them, like people's increase in confidence that they can manage their chronic conditions. They have better reported self-health. They have lots of different here and there anecdotal type things about increases or decreases in depression, increases in feelings of connection with others, and all of that good stuff. But specifically with the diabetes one, we know that there is also improvements in A1Cs. People's blood sugars are being managed well. And you can see that we have 53% reduction in emergency department visits. And we have another good amount of healthcare costs averted that we can attribute to this program. So then the next one is healthy living with chronic pain. And again, this one has had, the studies on this one are a little bit different because it's part of the Living Well as the healthy living with diabetes data. But we also know that there's decreased pain, improved mental health, improved energy, more involvement in daily activities, and improved quality of life. So lots of really great things happening with the chronic pain program as well. Next slide. All right, we have our Mind Over Matter, which is our newest program. And we know that this program is evidence-based for women 50 years and older. That doesn't mean that younger women can't take it or can't benefit from it, but that was the original research. We know that there's a 71% lasting improvement in bladder symptoms. 55 had lasting improvement in bowel symptoms. And we know that there's increased skills, increased self-efficacy, all of that confidence and all that great stuff happens with the program itself, not just from the content, but also the process and how it is facilitated. So really great things happening with Mind Over Matter as well. Next slide. We're going to move on to our physical activity program. So we know that, so for example, PALS, which is Physical Activity for Lifelong Success, has linked to increases in walking speed, and walking distance, which we know is linked to increased well-being and increased survival, increased quality of life, increased length of life. Next slide. And then Stand Up for Your Health. This is, if you aren't familiar with our Stand Up for Your Health program, this is a really fun program because it is not a physical activity program itself, but it is shown to reduce sedentary behavior by at least 60 minutes per day. And that is the average. That's what the research has shown us, but we know that there has been lots of other great health benefits in this because you can see by the bullet points below, we have increases in functional performance. That means your balance and mobility. So if you're talking about fall prevention, this is another great program that would be a good thing to add to your menu of things that you're doing. Improvements in pain interference, pain intensity, vitality, general health, and making sure that there's not as many problems performing our daily activities. So a lot of really great quality of life things coming from this program. And I think we might have one more slide on Walk with Ease. So Walk with Ease is a national program. This one is very easy to implement, and we know that there's lots of different benefits from this one as with the other physical activity programs, which is reducing pain, increasing balance and strength, obviously that confidence and that improvement in overall health. So there's our fast overview of all of the benefits that you all are doing in your community. So good job, kudos to everybody for making such a good impact. One thing I want to highlight today is we've been having a lot of great things happening with the programs and some different adaptations. So I just went over the health outcomes. So obviously fidelity of the programs is incredibly important, and we want to make sure that we are adhering to the fidelity of the program. But what fidelity means is that not only are we adhering to the program, but there are some allowances of flexibility within the programs. So if you are working with a community where you feel like something needs to be adjusted with these programs, it's a great opportunity for you to reach out to us and talk to us a little bit about what's happening in those communities, what the needs are, and really figuring out if any adaptations might need to be made. There are some flexibilities within not doing like a full-blown new research project, but then there are some communities where we are working with university partners and doing some adaptations to things and doing some research to make sure that we're still adhering to those fidelity outcomes, that we're still getting the health outcomes that were designed to the programs. But there's some really great things that are happening. So we are working with UW-Madison partners with the School of Pharmacy at UW-Madison, working with the Healthy Living with Diabetes program, and they've been doing some incredible work with our Milwaukee community partners on making some adaptations, working with BIPOC communities in Milwaukee. So lots of they have developed an actual, I wouldn't say manual, but a kind of a guide as to how they've adapted some of things while still maintaining those key elements of the program. And really working with those communities. It's really been a positive experience. So we're happy to talk with you more about that, depending on what community you're working with. We're also doing the same thing with the General Baptist State Convention, Aurora Health, and our Milwaukee community partners as well with the Living Well with Chronic Conditions program. So just small little tweaks here and there that have shown an incredible impact in working with the BIPOC communities and working with faith communities in the Milwaukee area. So we're really excited about those and happy to share those. We actually probably will be sharing a lot of this at our Healthy Aging Summit. We're going to be doing a panel on health equity. So May 15th, I think everybody has that date from the last office hours, but May 15th in Stevens Point is going to be the Healthy Aging Summit, where we're going to highlight a lot of these program adaptations. But I just wanted to highlight them today too, just so you're aware of what's going on. We've also worked with the Great Lakes Intertribal Council on stepping on and making some program adaptations for the Native American population and Native elders in working with fall prevention. So we do have manuals, we have lessons learned from these projects that we're happy to share with you. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you're interested in any of these adaptations. Okay, I feel like I just talked a whole bunch. So I'm going to then now hand it over to Amy to close us out with some facilitator training updates before we're done.
Right, thanks, Jill. So I will talk quick because we just have a couple minutes left. So Suzanne, can you just go back to that last slide real quick? So if you go to the WIHA website and you go under For Professionals, you'll see that Become a Facilitator tab. And that's where you're going to find out about everything about our fall facilitator trainings that are coming up. And we have a full docket of trainings that are coming up this fall. And you can see those on the screen. Diabetes is coming up in September. That's our next one. But I just want to encourage all of you, if you're interested in having anyone trained in any of these programs, don't wait. You can see that September Stepping On virtual training is already full, but thanks to Suzanne, she has added a new one for November, but that is also filling up fast, as are a lot of the facilitator trainings. So please just go ahead and register for those. If you have any questions about any of the facilitator trainings, you can reach out to any one of us at WIHA and we'd be happy to answer any of those questions. And that was really quick. Oh, Jill, you're on mute.
Thanks. Thank you. I don't usually mute myself, so it's good that I did. All right, so thank you so much for sharing those training opportunities. We'll get you out of here right on time, but just know that we've got some upcoming communication happening. You're going to see the WIHA update, the electronic version of our announcements, kind of what this webinar has showed you. We're going to have those coming out next week. So stay tuned for those. And then our next office hours is coming October 25th from 9 to 10 a.m. So keep an eye out for the registration for that. And we will see you all in October. So have fun with your Fall Prevention Awareness Month activities, and we'll be in touch. Thank you so much, everybody.